Over the past couple of years, I've reluctantly become one of those people that exercises consistently. And as hard as it is for some people to believe, I've actually grown to like it. Do you know the kind of person I mean? The kind that's always promoting healthy living, punctuated by an emphasis on exercise and fitness? And not the kind of exercise that most people with a gym membership just tend to mime. You know, the kind that's all about yoga pants and smoothies and 10 minutes spent on a treadmill while gossiping and watching The Bachelor. I'm talking about the kind of exercise that is painful. The kind that brings your muscle groups to failure with each round. The kind that stresses your body to the limit. Anybody who's unfamiliar with that kind of regimen, or worse, anybody who's maybe tried it once or twice and given up, will be completely confounded by the kinds of people who make that part of their daily lives. Even more so is making sense of the fact that people who are consistent about a routine like that will tell you that they actually like it. I get the skepticism and this nagging question of how you can reconcile the idea that people would put themselves through this level of physical disruption and discomfort with the claim that they think it's worth it and that they actually somehow, some way find it enjoyable. What most people looking in from the outside don't understand is that at a certain level of persistence in that pattern of deliberate discomfort and even pain, you cross this threshold where the effects start to take shape, and it's no longer just about the cost. And those effects are really good. Now, I can tell you what some of those effects are, like more energy, more strength, an improved mental state that affects aspects of your entire life, and a higher tolerance for physical discomfort. But simply hearing what they are is nothing compared to actually experiencing it. I think that most people will hear that and still think that the cost is higher than the return. But there's no other way to explain the fact that there are these people that do this day in and day out and refuse to stop. They've discovered something that you can't understand without experiencing it. And this for me is one of my favorite depictions of what faith is. There are reasonable explanations for a lot of things that you might be reluctant to embrace, but it requires enough trust and conviction to actually act on those ideas to see what might lie behind them. You see, the people that are willing to endure the kind of discomfort that comes from intense physical exercise had to tolerate a period of time at the beginning where they weren't experiencing those good effects. They had to trust that the process would work and that those effects experienced firsthand would be worth the price. That kind of trust is exactly what faith is. You don't fully understand until you place your life in a pattern revealed by someone else and then discover that it's the real thing. That's exactly what my experience of embracing Catholic Christianity has been like. This describes a principle that Christians have been trying to communicate for over 2,000 years, but tend to get a lot of pushback on. It's this idea that a process of pain and suffering, if embraced, can transform us into better versions of ourselves. It makes us stronger and more courageous. It teaches us to be masters of ourselves rather than slaves of our own appetites. And when combined with spiritual reflection and disciplines, it reveals wisdom and insight. Catholics call this mortification. It's what Jesus described when he said we have to learn to pick up our own cross if we want to follow him. The reality is our lives are punctuated by suffering. We will all experience mental and physical pain. We will all experience illness and aging, the loss of loved ones, and then we ourselves will experience the loss of our own lives. The question is, how are we preparing to face those trials? Because if we're taking every opportunity to avoid pain and suffering, then we are going to struggle to rise to those occasions with dignity and courage. But if we learn to embrace that dimension of life when it's not being forced on us, which by the way is a huge part of the shared human experience, then we will be able to manage it when that time comes. And that's what true courage and dignity looks like. Thank you guys for watching that. If you enjoyed that, then please like it and share it and subscribe and come follow along for more content. And if you want to support the making of these videos, then please consider supporting the business that makes them possible. Holdsworth Design is a digital marketing and communications company that specializes in web design, print design, branding, videography, and all that kind of stuff. So, and this is with a special emphasis on churches and ministries as well. So if you know somebody that needs those services, then please consider passing that along to them and check out the website, which is www.holdsworthdesign.com.